Hello again, avid traders, and welcome out to your daily currency recap. This is Ankit here, and I'll be breaking down today's market price action. It's a Tuesday, May the 14th, and we are highly anticipating that CPI report tomorrow. But let's get into what's really going on as we break down all the broader market analysis and then bring it down to the currency baskets and then take a look at some possible setups ahead. Let's get into it.
Do you want to be a professional trader? Maverick Currencies is the oldest US-based Forex and crypto prop trading company that will pay you for trading with our capital. Trade our capital and keep 70 to 80% of the profits. We are looking for traders just like you that are hardworking and motivated. Click the apply link on the top right of this video to see if you have what it takes. That link takes you to a 4-minute video that explains the trader position available, and you read a list of FAQs that answer pretty much all the basic questions you have at this point. After watching the video and reading the FAQs, if you're interested, fill out an application, then you'll watch the full-length recruiting video, and then schedule an interview with one of our traders. Are you our next trader?
So as we jump into the market analysis, let's take a look at the numbers and the news of the day. Let's just start with the news. So the equity markets are now back at the resistance level. Quite a recovery. The market looked like in trouble like just 3 weeks ago. So we've seen a market really make a nice comeback here. On the other hand, the US dollar and the bond yields, they're holding steady ahead of the CPI. So a lot of times what we notice is that the dollar and the yields get moved on these, strong or weak economic numbers. So that's really where our focus is going to be going into tomorrow when we get that number. Now, if we take a look at the market performance, in the currency market, things are holding steady. And again, we're not surprised by this because a lot of times, when you have a lot of important news events, things kind of go sideways for a bit, and then we get a big reaction one way or the other. There's one thing stand out here is that the yen continues to be the worst performer. So yen is stayed at a -3 and continue to stay at a -3 as far as the velocity goes. So for the last week and a half, this has been a great trade that's been working out. Outside of that, in the mid, everything is kind of the middle, going back and forth. Kiwi, on the other hand, is the outperformer and really taking over the Aussie. If you look at the last 2 or 3 months, the Aussie been the better performer, and now we're seeing a switch happening, and Kiwi is being a better performer. So that's something we've got to pay attention to. But then the European currencies are not really doing much. And then here we are with the USD and CAD. They are kind of holding steady as well. So perhaps tomorrow will be a better day to take a look at what's going to happen with the dollar and the CAD and dollar against everything else. I think that's really going to be the big focus here. Now, if you take a look at the broader markets, what do you see here? The equities are roaring back. Take a look at the World Stock Index and the S&P. Everything is kind of looking good here. The gold is rebounding as well, and here we are. Crypto just not getting a break here. So we talked about it before. The trend in crypto is moving lower. So this is where we don't want to be jumping into the long side. The oil markets, again, continue to go back and forth. So taking a look at the crypto overall, you can see the Bitcoin and the Ethereum. They all kind of look awful here. But our focus is really going to be on the currency market with that report tomorrow. So let's just take a look at where we are. What's the outlook? Again, we have to be in this +2, +1 range because take a look at the moving averages. Even though we kind of went sideways over here, we've kind of gone right back up to the resistance here. So tomorrow will be a make it or break it day today. Tomorrow. And if we do get a big breakout above this one, again, that will be a good risk-on environment. But these are the levels where we can easily see a blow off top as well. So looking for a reversal sign or extension, we need to get a good candlestick tomorrow, a full body candle to really make a conclusion where the market is heading from here. But at this point, we are right at the resistance, which again, we have to be prepared for both this scenario, a scenario for a breakout or scenario for if it breaks out or reverse. So those are the two scenarios we'll be preparing for. Now, as far as the event goes, like I said, 8:30 EM Eastern Standard Time tomorrow is where the CPI number is going to come, along with that retail sales, and we're getting the Empire State Manufacturing Index. So a lot of the data coming out are about 8:30. Looking to trade on the news. Again, going into it, it's literally a flip of a coin. So we really have to look at where market goes and react to it. We had a PPI numbers today. As you can see, that PPI numbers were a little stronger as a headline, but again, overall, it was just a mixed number. But you can see that the dollar did not go anywhere. And those are the areas where we want to just avoid that initial price action where you get a bit of a volatility, but it just doesn't go anywhere. We want to get into something that is going somewhere. So looking for an initial move and looking for a second stage entry on this one is something I'll be paying close attention to. So you got to pay attention to the US dollar along with the bond yields. Now let's do a currency analysis and take a look at where the velocity score is. And as you can see, the velocity score yen, again, stands out the most. So we'll take a look at yen crosses, Kiwi, and Euro actually doing really well. So we'll take a look at that as well. And then most importantly, take a look at the dollar. Where the dollar is going to go is really the big trade in the next 24 hours here. So let's just get into possible trades ahead and take a look at some setups.
Do you want to be a professional trader? Maverick Currencies is the oldest US-based Forex and crypto prop trading company that will pay you for trading with our capital. Trade our capital and keep 70 to 80% of the profits. We are looking for traders just like you that are hardworking and motivated. Click the apply link on the top right of this video to see if you have what it takes. That link takes you to a 4-minute video that explains the trader position available, and you read a list of FAQs that answer pretty much all the basic questions you have at this point. After watching the video and reading the FAQs, if you're interested, fill out an application. Then you'll watch the full-length recruiting video and then schedule an interview with one of our traders. Are you our next trader?
And as we take a look at the setup, so let's just jump right into the dollar. And what is the dollar charts telling you? That's a really big question here. You can see that dollar chart kind of topped up right here, double this resistance level here. You can see that the momentum is a little weaker here, but it's not overly bearish. And the reason why the dollar, again, is not falling apart is because take a look at the yen. Usually we have a negative correlation between the dollar and the yen. As you can see that clearly, yen is the clear loser here. So we have consecutive losses reversing the entire move and that the intervention that we had gotten. So tomorrow, as long as the yen stays weak, I don't think dollar is going to be the big mover. If the dollar is going to be the big mover, we'll see the yen catching a relief rally. And that's, again, looking at the chart, it's not telling us so. So I'm really neutral on the dollar here based on what I'm seeing. I think there's better options to be short as far as the yen goes. But again, if the CPI numbers, if we do break off this support, maybe we can take a look at a further breakdown. But until then, this is a bit of a sideways play here. Now, a lot of things are going sideways, like Swiss franc going sideways. So let's not talk about it at all. The euro is the one that's almost hitting that resistance. But again, I need that confirmation. We don't have the confirmation yet. Take a look at the pound. Not broken out yet. So take a look at the CAD, kind of going sideways. So you notice that as you go through the charts, a lot of the things are going sideways. The only things that are trending is the Aussie and the Kiwi. And I think at this point, there's a little bit more room for Kiwi to run here. As we go on a 4-hour chart, it looks like it wants to break out. We don't have a confirmation yet, but I think tomorrow is where we're going to get that confirmation. Second thing, let's take a look at the bond yields. What the US bond yields are telling us. And right now, US bond yields looks like it wants to go lower. Kind of looks similar to the USD, but it looks like it wants to go lower. So perhaps maybe we can take a look at dollar more on the short side than the long side based on that. But remember, when we get the news, we're going to get the big initial move. So let's go on an hourly chart. Take a look at the candlestick today. You're going to get that big candle and you're going to get some shadows. That's what happens in the first 15 minutes to the first initial phase of that move. And after that, whichever side it breaks, it really goes. As you can see today, it had that move and it just ended up going lower. So I think at this point, really a mixed picture here, but I'm open to both case scenarios. And as a trader, you just want to be prepared for best and the worst case scenario. Now let's talk about the best case scenario for the dollar. I think dollar yen continues to shine. Look at the daily chart. It's gotten almost to the half point here, right back at the parabolic SAR. So this again still seems like a viable trade to me on dollar strength. Now, what about dollar weakness? I think there's more candidates on dollar weakness. For example, we have this Kiwi dollar. I think this one looks great here. The daily chart, it really stands out. It looks like it's really want to move higher here. Again, being in this downward trend, kind of turn around here, making a little base here. So perhaps taking a look at a long around that 60-40. It's currently at 60-45, but looking right above or about 60-55 or 60-60 and aiming for 62. So decent risk to reward, only if we can catch a runner off that. So the Kiwi dollar stands out as the dollar weakness. We can take a look at Aussie dollar as well. As you can see, it's right up that resistance. So looking for a breakout off of those levels. Euro USD is slowly climbing higher, but that's the only one. But again, for dollar strength, I think the dollar yen probably still be the best one. You can see that the dollar Swiss franc is kind of rolling over here as well. So this is again telling me that maybe dollar short probably be a better call here. The chart looks better here. But as always, these news events can really throw a curveball. So be prepared for both case scenarios. Outside of the dollar, take a look at that massive recovery in the yen crosses. They continue to run 4-hour chart, beautiful setups, any high bases, any pauses, they just get bought. But again, I think tomorrow will be more about the dollar versus the yen. So pay attention to dollar yen currency cross, pay attention to what dollar is doing, and pay attention to what the bond yields are doing. And based on that, again, we'll probably get a better trade. So focus again will be on CPI, not planning on being active overnight. We want to be looking to be active tomorrow, trade the news. Kiwi again stands out the most bullish and bearish as a yen. And there's a lot in the middle there. So choose accordingly and look for that risk to reward play and go for it. Thanks for joining. We'll see you the next one. Happy trading.